This is holiday strategies. And as you can see from the Santa, he's having to think outside the box in order to accomplish what he needs to accomplish. And it seemed like an appropriate picture to kick off our presentation for holiday strategies today. Now, I know that as usual, there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that you probably have already heard multiple times. But what I'm really hoping for when I was designing this presentation, what I hope is that there'll be at least a couple little snippets in there where you pick up something new or have a different idea for things to do to help us get through the holiday season with our health intact and are still working towards our goals. So of course, first things first, I always like to give you time if you are still tracking your weight, which I hope that you are, to track that on your chart. So once you've done that, of course, you can continue with your trend line, drawing a line from your last recorded weight to this recorded weight. You can do that later today if you haven't taken your weight anytime recently, but it is important to check that out every now and then. And even if you're not taking your weight, maybe you're doing measurements, maybe you gauge it based on how your clothes fit, however it is that you're keeping track of it, it's important to be cognizant of what's happening and maybe even make a note about where you are right now, kind of at the beginning of the holiday season. And then we can touch bases with that again at the end of the holiday season to see how you do with all of this. So if you are tracking your weight, which I hope that you are, maybe make a note about how that went for this last month. Have you noticed any trends or things that have come up? Because those are great places to start when you're doing this is kind of your pre-planning, if you will, your planning for your plans, just to get your head into the right place. So just a quick rundown. These are the different things that we're going to talk about during today. And if you notice, we've already talked about in our weekly sessions almost all of these topics. So some of them are going to be review just to bring it back to the surface of your mind that it's really important. But I tried to scatter in there a few of the new topics or new ideas or new way of thinking about things. So that's something to look forward to. Colleen, I just posted the slides right before the presentation. So I'll go out after the presentation and make sure that those posted correctly, but I literally just posted the slides that you're seeing right now about 15 minutes ago or so. All right, so first we're going to talk about sleep strategies, and there is a reason that I put sleep number one in this presentation. Because it is the number one most important way that you can maintain your health over the holiday season. It's the number one most important way that you can give yourself the energy that you need to still continue to work towards your goals, whatever those are. Being well rested, I cannot overstate how important it is. If it's at all possible and within your control to stay well rested, especially when you know that you're going into a time which for some people can be stressful and busy, it's really important to have kind of that resiliency built in by being well rested. So if you remember this little guy, I brought him back again because he's so adorable and he looks very well rested, doesn't he? So just a review for all of you, and maybe a couple of new things here. When it comes to sleep, I call it sleep hygiene. My husband disagrees that that's not really a thing, but I call it sleep hygiene. Probably the most important thing with that is to be consistent. And as we get into this holiday season, maybe some of you will be lucky enough to have lots of things to do and to have parties that you could potentially stay at late, or to be up late wrapping presents, or fill in the blank, whatever the thing might be. It's kind of at this time of year, hopefully a good problem for you to have. But as much as you can, especially if you want to keep moving toward your goals, be consistent with what time you go to bed and be consistent with what time you wake up in the morning. That's the best way to keep your body going the right direction. And I know that we just switched over with the time change. That is personally one of my least favorite times of the year, whether it's the fall forward or the fall back or the spring forward. It really bothers my body a lot. And that is a great example of what changing the sleep wake time does to your body, right? It like screws everything up. So when you do that, even like a day or two during the week, it does the same thing to you. So being as consistent as you can with sleep, probably if you can focus on anything with sleep, that's the best thing to focus on. Not always easy though at this time of year. Really try and limit stimulating activities before bed. So I would say within a couple of hours before bed, really try and limit how much blue light you're exposed to, how many quick moving things you're exposed to, whether that's self-induced by doing exercise or watching a screen or watching a movie. Try not to stimulate your brain. Let your brain kind of settle down after the day. Try to get your mind off of work and just to do something that allows your mind to just settle down and slow down. Of course, avoiding nicotine. If you could do one thing for your health, even above and beyond the going to bed and waking up at the same time. If you use nicotine of any kind, then don't use it. Stop using it because it can really disturb sleep amongst many other things that aren't very good for your body. Limit alcohol, food, and caffeine within 4 hours of bed. All of those things can disturb your sleep and make it so it's hard to go to sleep or stay asleep. With the food and the alcohol, especially, you're going to be probably and very likely having some of that, especially the food within 4 hours of bed, but you just don't want to eat too much, or you don't want to eat things that maybe disagree with your stomach or cause other issues for you that might keep you from sleeping. So exercise each day, maybe not right before bed, but some kind of exercise each day is super duper important to help your body use up kind of that extra energy. If you think about if you ever have a little dog or a young child, or if you're ever around any of those, your body really is the same. They just exhibit it far more because they're younger. But think about what like a young dog feels like if you don't take them for a walk every day, right? They're crazy at the end of the day. They have all this energy that they haven't expended. Their body hasn't done stuff that it wants to do. So it makes them crazy. And that kind of is how our body feels. We suppress it a lot, especially as we get older and we have other things that take priority, but it's important to move your body each day. If you don't like to use the word exercise, and don't use that word. There can be different words. Keep the bedroom for sleeping. You can try white noise. I have a white noise machine in my bedroom. There's apps on your phone that you can use, like the ocean or water running or birds singing or whatever it is that you like. Darken the room, turn down the thermostat. Generally speaking, if you're trying to sleep when it's too hot, think about summertime, right? And it's hard to sleep when it's too hot in the room and you can't get cooled down. Similar in the winter time. So keep it cooled down because your body temperature actually goes down as part of preparing for sleep. So you can contribute to that by turning down the lights, muting blue light, turning down the noise, and turning down the temperature. Take time for prayer, for meditation, stretching, journaling. All of those things are fabulous things to do, especially in that last hour before bed, because those are all things that kind of help your mind parse through the stuff that happened during the day, start to put stuff from short-term memory into long-term memory. If there's anything that you need to remember, your body stores what you just have exposed yourself to right before bed. It stores that in your long-term memory first. So if there's something that you really want to meditate on or think on, that's a great time to do it, is right before bed, because it's the first thing that gets stored. But something quiet and kind of restful. And of course, if you can't sleep, don't just lay in bed and torture yourself. Just get up and do some more of those quiet activities until you feel a little bit sleepy. Hot bath, some warm tea, you can stretch, you can read a calming book, you can practice relaxation exercises, all of those. And then once you feel relaxed and ready to do it, then go hop back into bed and give it a try again. Sometimes what's happening is that our brain just hasn't had time. We haven't had the downtime that our brain requires in order to sort through the day. And that's why we can't go to sleep, because our brain is all just like still trying to go through everything that happened during the day. So sometimes it's really helpful to get up and just write that down, or just kind of to think through, okay, this is what happened in the morning, this is what happened midday, this is what happened in the afternoon, evening. And then just as you start to work through that, you might notice that your brain starts to settle down a little bit. If there's a problem that you're focusing on, sometimes just the simple act of writing it down or writing it out can be really helpful to get it out of your head and free your mind to speak or to sleep. I think about it like it takes it out of my head and it puts it on the paper, and then my brain can relax. So those are just some sleep strategies that I know that we've already talked about, but I really wanted to focus on it because even though it's not the most exciting subject, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of just talking at you today, right now at least, it's really, really, really important. Like, cannot be overstated how important it is. So really think about that. And if that's something that you feel energy towards, then maybe you might want to implement some sort of sleep strategy. Especially during this holiday season. All right, so everybody's favorite topic, right? Even better than sleep hygiene is time management. And as I'm going through this, when I get to the end of this little section, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to see if you have ideas that you want to share with the group. So kind of start stirring that around in the back of your brain. And if you think of something as I'm talking along, feel free to pop it in the chat, and I'll go through that after I go through these couple of slides of ideas that I have for you. So time management is really important. Now, I know we're all busy. Everybody's busy all the time, right? It's like the adult thing to do, to be like, oh, it's going to slow down in the fall. Oh, it's going to slow down in the spring, right? On and on and on through our life. I think the only constant other than change is that we're all busy, and we all try and cram too much into our lives. And the holiday season is no different. If anything, it kind of gets ramped up a little bit, because in addition to all those things that you do in your regular life that keep you busy, now you feel like you have these extra things that you have to do that happen during this time of year, that you got to find places to slot it in to your already busy life. So time management becomes really important, but this is also a really good time to improve your time management skills through just a little thoughtful process. And the fact that you're here and you're taking the time to move towards your goals by taking some time out of your day just to hear something new that's going to bring that to the forefront of your mind, that's an awesome way to get your brain into that place. So if time management is an issue for you, and I know it certainly is for me, the best thing that you can do is make a list, right? Just like Santa Claus. Make a list and check it twice. That can be really helpful, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on a Post-it, whether you just talk through it with somebody, you just verbalize it. This is what I have to do today. And then once you have your list, this is probably one of the most helpful things, at least in my mind, when it comes to this season, is here's a list of all the things I want to manage to do in between now and beginning of January. All right. And then look at that list and say, which of these things are must do's? Like, I have to do these things. There's no choice. I have to do these things. So those definitely stay on the list. And then look at what are things that I want to do, right? So those go just right after the must do's. So the must do's go at the top because you have to do those things. Then you look at the things that I want to do. These are things that I have energy towards, that I really want to do. And then what's left on that list is the should do's. Those go at the very bottom of the list and maybe get dropped off the list. I am going to float the idea to you that anything that is a should do, just drop it off your list. Okay, so when this was introduced to me, it was like, my mind was blown, right? Oh, because how often do you say, oh, I should do that? Oh, I should do that. I should do that, right? Why torture yourself that way? If it's not something you have to do or that you want to do, why is it on your list? Take it off your list. It shouldn't be a goal. It shouldn't be something that you even have on your list. And then once you have your list boiled down, these are the things I must do. These are the things that I want to do. Then you look at reasonably, what is it that I can do, right? What can I do in the time that I have? The must do's have to happen. So those are first. And then you can take your want to do's and you can prioritize those. And the things that are the highest, those are the things you find space for in that time. And I am here to tell you that the biggest time waster in our lives is our screens, right? So if you find that you're not having enough time to do what you want to do, I would challenge you to use this for nothing except essentials, or calling on the phone, right? Don't be going on social media. Don't be looking on shopping sites, none of those things. Don't turn on the TV. Do something different, because those are the biggest time sucks. Just when you think about it, you're doing nothing, right? And during a busy season where you have things that you must do and that you want to do, and you're thinking, how am I going to fit this in? You are going to find time in your day almost guaranteed if you can really limit your screenage, your screen time. That's a great built-in way to find some time in your day. If you can, schedule a half an hour between obligations. Now I said schedule a half an hour. So that means on your calendar, right, during the day, schedule that half an hour in there, like actually write it in there. Would be great if you could do this like for real, right? Everybody's like, what, for real? It's like at work. Wouldn't it be great to have an hour between all of your meetings? It doesn't always work out that way. I get that. But if you think about that as you're planning, especially when there's things that you have control over, try and give yourself a half an hour. Give yourself a half an hour for driving, for sitting, for reorganizing your thoughts, whatever it is, just to give your brain a little bit of downtime so it doesn't get so stressed, and then you're not so busy, your brain's not so busy at the end of the day because it's had time during the day to think about things. And how proud are we, right? You think about asking someone for help. That you see that on the slide right there? Ask and make plans for help. Okay. How proud are we though? Like when you think about asking someone for help, are you like, oh no, I don't want to ask for help. Like I don't want to appear like I need help or that I can't do it or anything like that. When you think about that and you actually bring that kind of thought process out, how silly is that? Right? It's so silly. We stress ourselves out where the activity would be far more enjoyable if we just did it with someone else. And chances are that person is going to be willing to help you, right? They're going to be willing to help you. My best thing that I've discovered lately is having my children help me make dinner. It's like all of a sudden they grew up enough that they can help me make dinner. So at least a couple of times a week, I bring them into the kitchen with me after I work the whole day. I say, all right, you two into the kitchen with me, and they help me make dinner. And I say, I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. They're my sous chefs, right? So they ask for help, make plans for help. If you're in charge of a dinner, give people jobs. Like think about that beforehand. Don't be the one in the kitchen the whole time by yourself, right? Have someone come and help you. Think about who can do what, try and let go, especially if you have those perfectionist tendencies or like a little bit of control that you like to keep over things, think about just releasing that a little bit this time. Do it consciously. Maybe it might even be a goal for you to consciously release some of the control over those things. Let other people help you and see how you feel about it afterwards. So, really great things to keep in mind when it comes to time management. Make a list, check it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Yeah, I know. Just like Santa, pay attention. This is really important with time management, okay? When you start to notice yourself getting that stress adrenaline rush, it's gonna happen sometime. It might even happen to you today. When you notice that, like you're driving down the road or you're working on something at work and there's 300 things going on at the same time, the phone is ringing, you have a catastrophe you're trying to deal with on your email, your children are texting you, somebody's walking into your office, right? You know that feeling that I'm talking about? Stop. Take a deep breath. And then take 9 more, 10 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Try it now. How long did that take? Hardly any time at all. And think about, try it again. Think about how you feel right now and then take a breath. Doesn't that feel better? Feels better, doesn't it? It takes hardly any time. And what that does is it derails that stress response in your body and it can help get you through whatever it is that you're going through. Just remember, no matter what's going on around you, that breath is there. All you have to do is focus on it once, twice, 10 times, 30 seconds if you have the time, right? Take a step back, look at the big picture. Very few things in our life are worth panicking over. Very few things are actually emergencies, right? Right? So it's really important to be able to see the forest. Sometimes we can't see the forest because all we can see is the tree and that tree and that tree and that tree and that tree, right? Take a step back, see the big picture, right? Prioritize. Think about that when you start feeling overwhelmed. Think about that list, which hopefully you've thought of at least in your head, if not written it down, and then prioritize. What is it that's the most important thing? Focus on just that thing. Just that thing, nothing else. When all the other things start coming in and get into this and this, okay, that's all good. I'm not going to forget it, but right now I'm focusing on this one thing, just this one thing. Slow down, one thing at a time. Focus, take the breath, just do it, right? Yeah. Repeat is necessary, of course. You know that. That feel good to have a breath? Felt good to me. It feels good every time. You know what else feels really good? Have a shoulder roll. Oh, that feels good too. People come to my yoga class, call me the shoulder roll queen because I love it. It feels so good. Why don't we do it more often? Good question. Okay, so I prepped you. I just now finished my 10 breaths. Yeah, I like it. Do you feel better now, Teresa? What a great time to do 10 breaths on a shoulder roll than when I'm talking, right? Yeah. There's spaces. There's space in your day. Yes, made me sit up straight too. Yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So I prepped you for this question at the beginning of this little section, this little time management section. What suggestions do you have for saving time and or having fun during the holiday season that you'd like to share with the group? I mean, little things, big things, just throw something out because chances are if you've thought of it and it's helpful for you, it can be really helpful for someone else too. What do you do during the holiday season that you really enjoyed? Maybe is a different way to put this question. What's your favorite thing? I'll tell you one of my favorite things in the whole world is holiday lights. I love holiday lights. I hate to hang them up. That's a pain. But I love to see them. I love, love, love it. That's one of my most favorite things in the whole world. So that's definitely on my want to do list. It's not something I have to do, but it's on my want to do list. And so I try and look at the weather report to see When might be a little bit warmer during the day on like a weekend day where I can go out in the middle of the day and hang up the lights. Plan, 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 include fun stuff and stick to the schedule. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes sticking to the schedule means on any given day, maybe you don't have a schedule, right? Okay. So Tuesday this week, that's our Zorro circle. We're just going to be at home. We're not going to do anything else. Buying gifts is one of the favorite things. Make a list, check it off, and don't continue to purchase even when you see something perfect if you've already crossed that person off. Yeah, it's so true. Buying gifts is so much fun, isn't it? What a great opportunity to think about the people in your life and what it is that they would enjoy. And I would venture to say too that a lot of people would enjoy your time or something that you've created yourself just as much as something that you've bought. So if you're someone who makes crafts, if you're someone who enjoys going out to dinner or going for a hike or a walk, I mean, that might be the very best gift you can give someone is just a little bit of your time. Or buying gifts, finding that perfect thing that just people want, or maybe that it's a surprise that they didn't even think that they wanted. But yeah, I agree, that's a really fun thing to do. But it's just like other things where you got to think to yourself, okay, where's the balance here, right? I've already crossed them off the list. I know this is great, maybe I'll write it on my list for next year. Yeah, my wife and I bake goodies. Let's see here if I can get this to go. My wife and I bake goodies together, but we gift them away as gifts so we aren't tempted by them being in the house. Yep. Yeah, so that's a nice way if you do enjoy to create using food, right? That's your craft, is using food. That's a tough thing, right? And that's great that you brought that up, because we can't ignore that. Especially during this season, and especially with the way that humans are built, where food is a way to care for other people. I think that is an awesome way to handle that, is you create gifts of food and then you give it away so that it's not an issue for you having too much in the house. Yeah, let's see, there was one more comment in here. When our family gets together, we give the gift of love to each other. We write one thing we loved about each family member and place it in a personal gift box. It's a great reminder, even after the holiday, how much we are loved and appreciated. Ooh, I love that one. That one's awesome. Yeah. Just writing down, when you just taking the time to sit down and think about each person. And what it is that you like about that person. How often is it that we take for granted that that person knows that, where it can make such a big difference just to say it out loud to them? And what a great excuse and opportunity to get a little sappy and mushy and kumbaya with some people that you love in the holiday season. I love that one too. Yeah, that's great. Great ideas. Thank you so much for sharing that. Much appreciated. Okay, so here's one of the best ways to deal with stress. Laughter, right? Having fun, not being so serious about everything all the time, especially in our society these days, and with everything happening in the world. How often is it that you go through your day just being like, oh, irritated by this, or irritated, frustrated by that, or whatever? It's so important to remember that it's not as serious most of the time as you think. I mean, there are certainly things that need to be taken seriously, but when you start to feel that adrenaline rush, you start to feel overwhelmed, it's really important to remember it's important to laugh every day too. It's so important to your own mental well-being to laugh a little bit every day. And so I wanted to give you some time in your day to have a little bit of funny. So I spent a little bit of my day finding a presentation appropriate YouTube video for you all to watch, which I'm going to try and share. And I came across these dog pictures. Have you ever seen these before? They're so funny. Like they just throw treats to dogs and then take pictures of them trying to catch it. So funny. What is it that makes you laugh? Think about that as I pull up this video. What is it that makes you laugh and that you enjoy? This one's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So those are just some examples of how easy it is to introduce a little life and to lighten your load, a little laughter, and to lighten your load a little bit. So I got a couple of other just like comics for you to look at. Yeah, right. Did you have a chance to read that? It's getting away from me. There we go. Tend to gain weight around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, National Mitten Day, Elvis Week, Mallard Filmer's birthday, right? Like it's constant battle, and that's what it feels like. And this one, you've probably seen this one before. What fits in your busy schedule better, exercising 1 hour a day or being dead 24 hours a day? Oh, funny, not funny, that one is. And then Calvin, of course, I have to have Calvin. You might have picked up already that I kind of like to include laughter in my day with all my Calvin. But his dad says, that's enough TV, go outside. He said, I don't want to go outside. Okay. So hopefully that gave you a little much needed relief. And now I'm going to dump you back into everybody's favorite subject, all the food that is around during the holidays. So you can prepare yourself for this. It doesn't have to be something to dread. It can be an important part of the celebrations that you're a part of. It just requires a little thoughtfulness, a little bit of pre-planning. So you need to be prepared, because someplace that you go, there's going to be too much food, at work, at events, at home. So here are some strategies that you can use. And if one of these jumps out at you and you're like, yeah, that's a good idea, that really helps me, I really want you to maybe incorporate that into your goals that you have, maybe put up a post-it and just to remind yourself. So remember to drink water. Remember to drink water. However that works for you to hydrate yourself without calories, make sure to stay hydrated, because I have really noticed just over the course of being at home with COVID and everything that I wasn't drinking water at home, and I was eating way more. And it took me a long time to figure out that I was eating because I was thirsty. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Eat breakfast, eat regularly, right? They kind of go hand in hand. I'm not so concerned about that you eat breakfast so much as that you are fueling your body the way that it needs to be fueled. So it's so easy to get so busy and then just forget about eating, forget about doing anything. And then you go to a party and there's food everywhere and it's all kinds of sweet stuff. And you've got all these cravings because you're really hungry. So really try and eat regularly. Maybe right now, just stock some snacks into your purse, into your car, at work, things that are healthy that aren't landmines for you. But when you start to feel yourself hungry or you're busy, you're running from one thing to the next thing, you can give yourself something good to eat so you're not starving and your willpower doesn't have to take such a beating. As much as you can, eat slowly. Really try and enjoy it, especially if you're at a party and you've chosen, this is my favorite treat. This is something I really want to have. Try and eat it as slowly as you can and just really taste it, really feel it in your mouth, all of those things. Really try and eat mindfully. If you're at a dinner, like Thanksgiving is coming up, try and eat nutrient-rich foods first. Try and bring something when you go somewhere that is a good choice, right? Something that's going to taste good, that's going to give you something back, and that is going to help you to feel satisfied and not crave all the other stuff. So choose the nutrient-rich foods and eat those first and eat them slowly. Choose small portions of high fat and high sugar food. There's going to be a lot of that around, and there's probably going to be some of your favorites around. You only get them once a year, right? Which isn't necessarily true. You can have it anytime you want it. It's not like it goes away in our society. But try and really think about eating something that's good for you first, being well hydrated with water, and then making a conscious choice about what is it amongst all of these things that I can choose from? What is it that I really enjoy and that I'd like to have some? And then take a small portion and really savor it. Prepare and bring healthy options. I already mentioned that. And don't keep landmines in your house. We kind of already touched on that with Kyle's comment about, liking to prepare the food, but then he's realized, he and his wife, he and his spouse have both realized that it's not something they can keep in the house. As much as they enjoy creating it, they don't necessarily enjoy eating it all. And I would float the idea to you that as much as you might think on the surface that you really enjoy eating a lot of food, I don't think you actually do. Because when you think about what happens, not just while you're eating it, but also what happens afterwards, probably isn't something that you enjoy a lot to eat a lot of food, right? Especially at this point. So don't keep landmines in your house that unnecessarily test your willpower. If there's stuff, a particular kind of food, or you just are in a mood where this is a food that I'm just gravitating towards, then that needs to go out of your house. And if you fail, or if you find that there's a food that, you just eaten too much of it, whatever the circumstances were that get you there, hopefully you all know that is okay. I mean, that one time, that one event, that one quote unquote failure, and I'm quoting it, I'm going to explain why in a second, you probably already know, that doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your journey, right? What in fact that does is it gives you an opportunity to learn and know yourself better and do better the next time, right? You have to fail in order to succeed many times. So if there's things like that in your house, take them out of your house, give them away, don't buy them, or buy small things. So healthy weight tips. Remember, it's all about priorities. Consider maintaining your weight as a goal during the holidays. With all of the eating and all of the rushing, is this really the best time to actually lose weight? Or do you think during a time where a lot of people will gain 10 pounds or more just in the next couple of months, do you think that maintaining the weight that you're at right now, by whatever strategy works the best for you, might be a good goal? It might be a win. Now, I'm not saying you can't lose weight, because I have worked with many, many people before who have just continued with their weight loss journey through the holiday season. They have found other things that give them joy besides food during the holiday season. And I am not here to tell you that maintaining your weight is the best goal. I'm just offering it as an idea in case it's something that resonates with you and that fits where you are with your journey. But if you are, gung-ho and you say, I can do this, I'm on board, then by all means, please continue to lose weight during the holidays. Just be really conscious and really, really thoughtful about it going into it. Like, what's it going to take for me to be able to meet the goal that I have set for myself, whatever that is. Make plans before you go to an event. Think about it. Most things that you're going to go to, you've been to something similar before, and you know how to prepare for that. You know what's going to be there. Just think through it, visualize it in your mind. And then when you get there, you don't have to think under pressure, what am I going to do? Because you've already decided. Consider a multivitamin, fish oil, or calcium. We went over this a couple of presentations ago. You can go review that if you'd like to, but definitely it makes a big difference if your body is getting all the nutrients that it needs to help with cravings and with sleep and with all the other things that you want to do to treat yourself well. Don't keep treats in your house all during the next few months, right? Maybe only for a special event, and then out they go. Give away the leftovers. I already talked about that. All of that, important and relatively easy to do. Okay, so think about alcohol, right? 'Tis the season to drink too much. Yeah, it certainly can be. And what do we know about alcohol? There's probably a lot of things that we know about alcohol. I feel like I'm testing the class. I always hated that when my teachers did it to me. So I'm not going to do it to you, but I'm going to tell you what we know about alcohol. It has lots of calories, right? It has lots of calories, almost as much as fat. So if alcohol is something that you enjoy, again, same as with sweets, same as with, whatever it is that you really enjoy, put it in the moderation category. It doesn't mean you can't have it. Just think about how much of it do you really need? How much of it are you going to really enjoy? Not just in the moment, but afterwards. Really, the recommendation for alcohol is 1 drink for women and 2 drinks for men. You got to go back to your serving sizes. When I say a drink, right? Well, I've only had one. You've heard that joke, right? It's this big. No, 1 drink is 2 ounces for liquor, 4 ounces for wine, 8 ounces for beer. So the other thing you can think about is if it's not really something that you enjoy, you just feel like you have to do it like to fit in, to join the merriment, then there's lots of other choices that you can choose there, right? Think about how you want to take in your calories. Is it a drink instead of dessert? Like, that's something that makes a lot of sense to my brain. Do I want to have, oh gosh, sorry, I think my touchpad is getting touchy. How do you want to have something to drink, or do you want to have something sweet to eat? Sometimes that's really helpful for me in thinking about what is it that I really, really like. Red wine is a good choice because it does give you something back with the red color has those healthy phytochemicals in it. And drinks with real fruit in them gives you something back because of course it has fruit in it. Small sizes of drinks, yeah, and just sip it and just really enjoy it. Or try a non-alcohol drink that's kind of just fun, seltzer water with a lime or some fruit, or half of the alcohol and then seltzer water for the rest of it rather than a whole drink. All of those things are great strategies, up to and including not having a drink at all, because alcohol is not necessary for life. Activity, yay! Everybody's favorite, right? Well, you know how I feel about this, is that the activity will be easy to maintain when it's something that you enjoy. So try and, like I already said, try and include some every day. See if you can take, this is a challenge you can take if you want to, Mission Impossible, right? Can you hear the music playing in your head? Take a 10-minute walk each day during holiday weeks. What week is there Christmas? What week is there Thanksgiving? What week is there any other holiday? Fill in the blank. Take a 10-minute walk each day. See how you feel. You might feel a lot better. Invite people to come with you, people that you love, people that you enjoy, or maybe just reach out to somebody that you don't know that well. Maybe just your neighbor across the street, right? Hey, you want to go for a walk in the neighborhood with me? Children, family, friends, pets, etc. Make active plans for everyone, especially if you're in charge of the venue or the events for the day. See if there's something active that everybody might like to do. Taking walks, skiing, ice skating, hiking, hunting, sledding, freeze tag, wrestling with kids, laughing really hard. Did you know it's an awesome workout to laugh really hard? It is. So if the weather is poor, maybe just turn on some funny cat videos and laugh your head off for a half an hour, and you'll burn more calories than just sitting there, that's for sure. There's an idea, if it's too slick for walking, you can try, there's traction shoes. There's also more expensive if you want to spend more money, if you're really committed to it. There's also hiking boots or like mountaineering snowshoes that have the soles are designed for walking on snow. It's not like yak tracks where they sometimes are frustrating because they fall off. But yak tracks are a great way to just get out and about a little bit, even if you just go a little way, just to get that 10-minute walk in, right? To get a little outdoor therapy. It's a great way to do that. Or just go with it and use skis. I was feeling funny today, so I put that in there. Stress. It's all about how you manage it, right? You can't avoid it. Stress is part of our life. There's good stress, there's bad stress. We talked about this. You can go back and review that presentation if you want to. Just think about it. Manage your stress. Don't let it manage you. All of the things that we've talked about up to this point, the sleep, time management, planning ahead, using laughter and humor and comedy and not being so serious, all of that is stress management. It's all stress management. Any of those ideas can help you manage the stress that's going to come along. And just take that breath, right? Roll your shoulders, take those breaths. Yeah, slow it down a little bit. It's okay. Just remember, very few things are worth panicking over. Very few things are truly emergencies. Just relax. You can stretch at your desk. You can take a yoga class, cuddle with a pet, pray, meditate, take a hot bath. Right? We already went through a ton of those. Use any of those. If there's one of those, just take a second and think, is there one of those that really resonates with you that you're like, oh yeah, that sounds wonderful? Schedule that. Schedule it. Like make a plan with a friend. That's what I need to do because I've been meaning to try hot yoga or warm yoga. I might try instead, but I've been meaning to try that. I'm going to plan to go and do that with a friend during the next couple of months just to give it a try, because what a great opportunity to spend time with someone that I love and someone that you know, do a little activity but also have a little bit of me and relaxing time. So I'm excited to do that. Really important. All of this, I swear, it's like, this is more important than that is. I feel like I've been saying that all day today. But relationships, right? Be realistic when it comes to relationships. Holidays don't mean that problems suddenly go away or that things become perfect. That's our script, right? We come up with a script in our head. This is how my day is going to go today, right? I'm going to get up in the morning. My children are going to be happy. They're going to go and get their stuff ready. We're going to get in the car and sing songs on the way to school and talk about how wonderful everything is. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to do lots of things, right? That's your script. People step all over your script all the time, right? Just expect it. It's going to happen. If there's things that are wrong now, they're still going to be wrong during the holidays. So try not to go into it thinking that it's going to be perfect and just be disappointed when it's not. See, if you just think about too many people in too small a space for too long a time, guaranteed to lead to some conflict, right? So this is a great time to think forward to how to deal with that, especially if you know you're going to be around someone where there's an issue, right? Think about that. It's really beneficial to change your focus. Look for a need, see if you can feel that need, do something for someone else. Instead of being all up in your own head about dreading, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, whatever. Oh, I'm dreading that. Think about what you can do, how you can help. Be conscious of your choices, because most of what you do is a choice. It's not wrong to say no. I can't go to that thing. It's not wrong to say no. I can't help you with that, or I'm not putting up lights this year. If that's not something that's on your must do or want to do list, it's a should do. Say no to it. It's okay. Be conscious of your choices. They're very important. What do you need as you go through this time? I really love this. I pulled this off of an article that I read years ago. It was in Real Simple magazine. You can see I cited it down at the bottom. This lady, Lori, came up with these. And this is just like something you could even write down if you know there's going to be a tough conversation, or, you know, people who have different politics than you do, or family members that don't get along or have a tendency to lose their temper, children, any of those things. If there's any of this or any of that that really resonated, maybe just take out a piece of paper and write this down, put it in your pocket, text it to yourself on your phone so that you can pull it up and look at it. Oh yeah, that was the word that I was supposed to use. That was the sentence. Thank you for your opinion. I'll think about it. Right? Nothing wrong with saying that. Remember nonverbal communication, right? It's all about how you say it. You want to be polite, but you also want to end the conversation, right? Thank you for your opinion. I'll think about it. Yep, that's all you need to say. And if you need something or you want to have a conversation with someone, is this a good time for you? Is a great way to say that. When you want someone's full attention. And if they say, no, it's not a good time for me, when would be a better time, right? How useful is this? It's like actual words you can use to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Would you like my thoughts, right? Somebody's complaining to you about, you know, whatever. You have a child come to you or a spouse come to you. I'm having this problem, blah, 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 blah. Always ask, would you like my thoughts? That's really helpful. If they say yes, give them your thoughts. If they say no, nope. All I want is for you to listen. And I know it's hard, but it's also important. Why don't we get the facts? Right? Again, remember, especially in our society right now, we've kind of lost the ability to have a conversation with people that we disagree with. So these are great skills to build, to be able to have those conversations. Why don't we get the facts? Don't argue about easily resolved things, and refrain from saying, I told you so, if you end up being right. I need your help. Can you please? Right? Don't be too proud to ask for help. We live in relationship with the people around us. They want to help you. 9 times out of 10, they want to help you. Say it. This is how you say it. I need your help. Would you please? People are not mind readers, and you don't need to do all the work. I know. Aren't these awesome? Let's wait on this until we have more information. Oh, isn't this a good one? Yes. Good for the what if and future plans, conversations that turn into arguments. What did you mean by that? Right? Again, how you say it is important. What do you mean by that? As versus, what did you mean by that? I'm not sure I understand. Right? Things are often not meant the way that we interpreted, not meant the way that they come across. Before you get insulted, ask the question. What did you mean by that? Right? This is great for social media too. By the way, if you feel like you need to engage with someone, but you want to do it in a good way, what did you mean by that? Great way to get more information out of people. I don't like that. Why don't we do this instead? It's okay to say you don't like something, right? If someone wants to go to some place you don't want to go to, I don't like that. Can we do this instead? when making plans or dividing up tasks. Like if somebody asks you to do something to help with the dinner or whatever, oh, I'm not very good at that. Could I do this instead? And most of the time they'll say, oh yeah, sure. I'm sorry, you're upset. Okay, you don't want to say this one in a condescending way, but it is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's reflecting. It's a lot of things that like counselors learn, or instead of saying, I'm sorry that you're upset, you can say, I hear that you're upset. I hear that you're frustrated, right? Let me get back to you. This is a great way to give yourself time to think about how to respond, and a polite way to get out of saying something if you, a polite way to get out of a conversation if you don't have a good way to respond. But if you say, let me get back to you, make sure that you actually get back to them. So hopefully those were helpful for you. These are all really good, simple things. Like I said, hopefully there was one in there. Maybe you feel like you can just remember that you're like, oh yeah, that person, this will be a good thing. Give it a try, right? But really try and listen to people. Really try and listen to them rather than plan what you're going to say next when you use any of these things. That's part of really good communication. I also want to remind you all, and this is something we haven't talked about during Healthy for Life, so I really wanted to bring this to the forefront, is to remind you all of the benefits that you have through the Live Life Well program as versus just this Healthy for Life program, which is a benefit of the wellness program. You have lots of other things that are available to you. There's 6 free counseling sessions available through the Employee Assistance Program for you or anyone in your household. There's health coaching that's available. I think that you are all aware that that's available. There's nicotine cessation programs. There's diabetes management programs. There's prenatal and breastfeeding support. There's asthma management support. There's resources for self-monitoring. And then I gave you the website for this. So I want to go and I want to show you this page. See if I can find it here. So this is the healthcare and benefits page. So you see I'm hovering over Live Life Well right there. And then here's all the wellness programs that we offer. Look at all of this. This is just like my pride and joy, how much is available to members of the state plan. There's challenges. The holiday challenge just started. If you want to join that, I can work with you. I have room on my team. If you want to join my team, just let me know. It just started on Monday, so you're not too late at all. You can see that right next to it, World at Play. Health coaching, health screenings, the incentive program that's available to you. There's also the healthy weight. Let's see if I can pull it up here. The healthy weight incentive, which is available to you. Uh-oh, it's not working. I'll have to fix that. Which is available to you right now, actually, if you meet the requirements, because you have to do 4 months of Healthy for Life, and then you do, you lose 10% of your starting weight and you engage in regular physical activity. So if you've met those requirements, you can apply for that anytime. So this was just kind of really brief. I just really wanted you guys to be aware. As I was creating the presentation, I was like, this is a perfect time to throw that out there and to remind everybody that you have access to more than just these benefits, just the Healthy for Life benefits. All right, so this month, here's your working orders, if you will. Of course, they're not orders. You get to decide what you want to do. Do what you've decided to do to meet your goals. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of food for thought, if you will, to think about like, what do I want to do going into this month? Maybe as soon as we get off the line here, maybe just take a minute or two before you go anywhere or do anything and think about what it is that you want to accomplish as you go through this holiday season. And again, it doesn't have to be this overwhelming, like huge goal, right? It can be as simple as, I want to maintain my weight. Okay, great. How am I going to do that? 1, 2, 3, right? I want to make it through my holiday dinner without getting into a fight with Harold. Here's how I'm going to plan to do that. 1, 2, 3, right? Anything that you want, but maybe just take a few minutes right after we are done here, and just take some time to think through that and write it down. If you need the food and fitness log, make sure to print that. Keep on tracking during the holiday season. I know it's busy, but it makes such a big difference to write it down. Each little thing that you eat, right? You know, when that stuff comes into work and it's just there all day, it makes such a big difference to write it down, because then you don't eat as much of it. So maybe just give it a try. Remember that sleep is the #1 priority. I have no idea. Sleep is the #1 priority. Make a list of things that you must do and want to do, and discard those should do's. That's a great thing to do right after we're done too. Pre-plan, write it down, speak it out loud. Remember, think it, write it, say it. If you do all 3 of those things, you're far more likely to do it. Nothing ever changes. It's just work, 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 but not today. Today, I go for the gusto. He says, I think you should ask your mom if it's okay. So this holiday season, go for the gusto, and just with a little pre-planning, perhaps you'll notice that things are a little bit easier for you. So if you have any, I know my computer does need to take 10 deep breaths. That's hilarious. And have a fabulous day, everyone.